We're going upstairs to Stu Mendel over a situation up in Skyfox. Stu.
Well, that's right, Roxy and Bobby. Take a look at that. Now, that box truck we were talking about earlier on that was in pursuit, then wasn't in pursuit. Well, now it is in pursuit once again. He's basically moving that speed. You can see it right there, extremely slow. And LAPD using their kinder, gentler techniques this morning, basically not trying to block this suspect in or making an aggressive suspect in custody. They're kind of more on a wait-and-see type of situation. You can see that vehicle making its way right there on, I believe that's going to be 6th Street, and he's moving really, really slowly. Now, the officers for this is going to be the LAPD. This is going to be Olympic Division. They basically went to approach the vehicle to maybe try to block it in to take that suspect into custody, and that's when the pursuit started again. Now, you can see there's a lot of other traffic out here on the road. They aren't blocking any streets, and basically at this point, LAPD just following along, just staying there right behind it. I don't know why they're not going to try to pit it. Perhaps they have other information about that suspect that we don't, but right now a very slow-moving pursuit. This is going to be probably in the Fairfax area, just north of the Miracle Mile, now in a very residential area. So I'm sure a lot of these folks not used to hearing sirens and also helicopters might be getting woken up a little early this morning. Roxy, Bobby?
And so this has been going on for quite some time, right, Stu? I think the reports were coming out around maybe 1:30 this morning or so, and it is a slow speed pursuit. Doesn't look like the driver's going at a fast rate of speed, so maybe they just continue and follow the driver.
Bobby, that seems to be the plan for the officers right now, and it has been going on for some time, and they have been doing it. It isn't like just LAPD is just kind of taking a lax attitude. They are trying to bring this to an end. They put the spike strips out earlier. That's the reason why all those tires are flat on that U-Haul van. They're calling this a stolen vehicle, so unsure if it was a crime of opportunity or perhaps this was a rental that hadn't been returned. That kind of information really not getting back to us quick enough. But at any rate, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. LAPD wants this vehicle to stop. They want to get that driver into custody, and right now he continues to drive along. The only real positive is it is still very early in the morning, and there are not a lot of vehicles out on the roadway, and that's going to, so safety for others is something that LAPD always is concerned about, but in this case, not really. They don't really have to worry too much. Is that vehicle moving very slowly? But the fact is, he could really just open it up. Looks like we're making a turn into the famous Park La Brea area right now, and definitely we're actually making our way into Park La Brea. So this is one of those ones. It's a little bit of a maze, but it seems like they have a lot of exit ways out there. So if he gets his way into this area, there's a lot of ways out. But again, this is going to be the Park La Brea area, the apartment buildings out here, and again, LAPD just wants to bring this to a stop. That van could actually speed up. I don't know why it's moving so slowly. Maybe it's the driver, maybe it's the mechanical issues, but the possibility of it going faster, that could be a problem for anybody involved. Apparently, clearly, because there are no tires, just rims on that vehicle right now.
Yeah, just like crawling along. And you mentioned you don't know if it's a mechanical issue or if the driver, the suspect in this case, is choosing to go this slow. I was just thinking, like, could this go on until the vehicle is out of gas? That would take a while.
That, Roxy, you know, if they're going to try to run this thing out of gas, you're right. This might go on for quite a while. I'm sure LAPD at some point is going to try to possibly block that vehicle in. We've heard the words that the pit maneuver. There's been a lot of opportunities, and the fact that this vehicle is moving so slowly, that could be something that they use. Now it just kind of came to a stop. And Roxy and Bobby, this is kind of the thing. You just don't know. Is it the van? Is it the driver? And why is he doing these things? But right now, LAPD following along. They've got a helicopter over it as well, and they've got a number of officers down there, and occasionally we hear them. They're trying to put together a plan, but again, they just don't want to injure anybody, and they don't know exactly what the deal is with that driver, so they have to play it safe.
So it looks like it's at Hauser in Maryland near the Park La Brea area. There's a lot of apartments in the area. There's a lot of people who live in that area. Obviously, it's a pretty congested area, but because of the hour that this is taking place, there's not a lot of people out and about, which is a good thing, so you don't have a heck of a lot of pedestrians out there. But that really is the bottom line here, is like there's a lot of unknowns here. We don't know what the the driver, his demeanor is like, or whether or not, he's obviously despondent, or she is obviously despondent, but we really don't know a lot about the driver and how much of a danger the driver
we also
might
don't
face
know
for
if
other
there's
people.
more than one person in the vehicle, right?
But we understand that it is just the driver,
Okay.
Roxy. We didn't see anybody else down there. Vinny bringing up the map for us. They're moving at a whopping. They're not even into double digits right now. 7 miles an hour. That's
Wow.
what they're doing down there. So it really gives you a feel for, you got a feel for the LAPD. I'm sure some of those officers are down there and they just want to, get in front of it, block this thing, and bring it to an end. But they have policies, and they are following the rules and the policies that they're set for them. So they are basically they can't. Their hands are not really tied, but they can only do what the policies allow them to do. And in this case, it is basically just to follow this suspect around until they get the opportunity or they can find a way to really disable that vehicle. I'm not giving anything away, but we heard them talk about maybe getting chocks, like big blocks that, basically to lock those wheels into place. I'm talking to our guest pilot this morning is going to be Maury, and he's just telling him that we need to move the helicopter one way or another so Vinny doesn't lose this shot. But you can see it right now. He's making his way out onto a major there. We'll get the name of that street, and let's see if he moves again. He seems to like to stop at intersections. That's where he was sitting when we arrived, and then here we go. So it's continuing on. Look at that. There you go.
So if this vehicle does eventually stop, they'll bring out some chocks and hopefully get the driver to stop.